Hello, my name is OboOz22, and today I'm going to be watching and doing a um, aftermath commentary of my world record in Splatoon 2 All Collectables as of March 9th, 2020. I hold the current world record with 1 hour, 48 minutes, and 1 second. And I don't talk much during this run, but to prove that I can provide commentary in my runs, I'm doing a aftermath commentary. Um, just to kind of explain the category, what I'm doing, and why it would be a good fit for SGDQ 2020. So I'm going to begin. So this kind of speed run, we have to start from a new file. So here I am making a character, and we start the speed run when I click yeah. This is my normal stream layout. I have the capture right there in front of you. I have my splits off to the right, and then I just have my name in a few places because it's my stream. So why not? So starting from a new file, we get thrown right into the tutorial. So just gonna be kind of showing off the basics of Splatoon 2, and it would be a good way to kind of show how speedrunning in Splatoon revolves around. I basically shoot a giant a pathway in front of me, then swim through it. And I also throw some bombs in front of me. There I struggle a little bit trying to get up, as I had some bad RNG with the shooting. There is something called shot RNG in Splatoon 2 speedrunning. It's basically where you know how your gun fires is kind of RNG, so you can get a little unlucky if you shoot, because since we're shooting really fast, you could get unlucky and not ink the entire place of where you're trying to go. So I just had a little trouble getting up that wall back in the tutorial because I was trying to go really fast and the shot RNG didn't quite do what I wanted it to do. But that just happens sometimes. You have to go with it. And here is just some A mashing, some cutscenes. So not much going here, but I guess I can now take this time to explain how All Collectables is different from any percent, because any percent was done by Tones Blones in AGDQ 2018, I believe. So this is good. This is in the main hero mode, the single player campaign, vanilla campaign of Splatoon 2. It's not the Octo expansion DLC. So how it's different from any percent is, well, first of all, you have to get 2 collectibles, and that's the Sardinium and the Sunken Scrolls. There's one in every single level. There's a Sardinium in every single boss, and there's also a Sunken Scroll and a Sardinium in every overworld too. There's 5 overworlds. The first one has 3 levels, 1 boss, and the rest have 6 levels and a boss. And you basically have to beat all the levels before you could beat the boss. You do all the levels in the immediate world and unlocks the boss, and then completing the boss unlocks the next world, and then rinse and repeat. So how this, you're probably thinking like, how is this really much more different from any percent? What does it offer? Well, there's a lot, since you have to collect these collectibles in every level and every overworld. It unlocks quite different movement and routing in the levels and overworld, and you're going to see that immediately right here. So in every world, how you get the scroll is you have to follow these balloons. Here I'm going to be unlocking level 1, which I'll get to later. And so I'm going to be following these balloons until it unlocks a scroll. That's the very first scroll we're going to be getting. And then I'm going to be going down here and unlocking level 3, which is the first level I'm going to be doing. The way the route works is going to be based on the scroll and the Sardinium placements. And also what's the fastest way to get to each level. A lot of the routing I've actually done myself, because this isn't a very... to begin with, it wasn't a very optimized category. So I spent a lot of time optimizing a lot of these levels in the overworlds. So a lot of the routing I've created myself, since it wasn't much of an optimized category to begin with. But I'm really proud of what I've been able to discover with the routing and everything. This level right here, I'm about to get the Sardinium, is right here. There are some levels where the collectibles are just slightly off to the side and don't take much time to get them compared to any percent. But then there's some where you have to go down a completely different route to retrieve them. So it usually just depends on which level. This level, it's not too off to the side. This one, here's a scroll just tucked away out there, and now it's just all 90% for the rest of the level. This level is cycle based. There is a cycle at the very end, which I'm going to try to make. And also you can see I'm starting out, basically the game starts out by using the splatter shot, or the hero shot in the single player. It's basically the splatter shot. But if I haven't already noticed, the fire rate of the hero shot has been cut in half to emphasize how important upgrades are. You know, as you can also see, I got 135, which is the best possible time that you can get in this level. So that was a pretty good level. Anyway, so here I am going back, super jumping to level 1. That's the level I unlocked earlier before I entered level 3. Any level that you can lock, you can super jump to, which is a lot faster. You're gonna see me a lot of times unlock a level, then just leave it, and then save it for later. Because any level that I unlock, I can super jump to, which takes no time at all. And a lot of times I'm going to be unlocking level with bombs from below, because it's going to be more faster than actually climbing up to it. This level is pretty self-explanatory. It's the very first level, so there's not too much going on, just a lot of movement. It's very movement based, so not too much going on. But it really showcases what the movement in Splatoon 2 speedrunning is like. So it does a good job just kind of showcasing that. A lot of these beginning worlds are just very movement based and just requires some good execution. Not many notable tricks or skips. I'm going to be just about getting the Sardinium, which is tucked away behind the super jump pad. And then I'm going to be getting the scroll immediately after, right here, which is down below, right here. I don't talk too much in this run because I'm trying to focus, since it is a world record speed run. But I do remember talking in some places, so if my voice kind of overlays my voice in this video, I do apologize. But there's not much I can do about that. Here I'm going to be getting into level 2. Whenever I unlock a level with the hero shot, I'm going to be most likely throwing a bomb in front of me, because since the hero shot the level 1 hero shot is so slow, it's faster to throw a bomb to help unlock the level. So this level has these sponges, and those I'm going to be usually throwing a bomb to, because a bomb immediately inflates the sponges, so it's much faster than just using the hero shot. I'm going to be using the level 1 hero shot for pretty much most of the game except for the final boss. I thankfully don't have to use it in every single level. After World 1, Sheldon's gonna start forcing me to use other weapons. That's what makes the single player of Splatoon 2 cooler and than Splatoon 1. This is just one of the reasons. Just the single player weapon varieties. You get to use like all different kinds of weapons, such as the roller, the charger, the blaster, and the brush. So it's really cool, trying to optimize each level with the different kinds of weapons. And 90% pretty much forces you to try to optimize what levels and weapons you get. Because you always have to use certain levels with a certain weapon, which Sheldon decides for you. But we haven't unlocked that yet, so all the World 1 levels you're just using the regular hero shot. The hero shot does come back and begin in some other levels after World 1, but not many. And then we do upgrade it only for the final boss. Because the final boss is really hard if you were to try to beat it with the level 1 hero shot. Speaking of upgrades, I'm trying to collect as much orbs as I can until about level 8. As you can see on my splits, level 8 is still a bit far away. But I basically need to unlock curling bombs, which it takes about 500 orbs. Oh, I missed the platform there because I didn't get a full jump. But here's the overworld Sardinium right here. And I'm going to be going into boss 1, Octo Oven. But anyway, I need 500 orbs to unlock curling bombs, which I'm going to be getting after I complete level 8. And what I don't think you could see it because the frame rate is not too great. I do apologize about that as well. But if you didn't see, I basically restarted the level, and what that does is right after I jump on to the level and restart, it actually tricks the game into thinking I've already watched the opening cutscene. And so if I restart the level and then jump to the boss again, I'm able to skip the cutscene, and doing all that is much faster than actually watching the cutscene, because it's very long. So I'm going to be doing that with every single boss except the final boss. And the rest of this level is just is pretty self-explanatory. All I need to do is climb onto the boss whenever he shoots out these loaves of bread, I guess. This game has very unique looking bosses. But I'd probably take this time to have someone read donations or something. There I run into that sprinkler because for some reason the boss decides to retract it whenever I'm hurt, because it's the first world, so the game has a lot of pity on you. That's been the first boss and the end of World 1. Here I'm waiting for a bit so I can collect those 50 orbs, because you get 50 orbs every time you complete a boss, and especially those first 50 orbs in the first boss are those are very important, because those greatly help me collect 500 orbs to get curling bombs later. And if you collect the Zatfish too fast, you don't get those 50 orbs. So that's why I wait. And I'm going to be going into World 2. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to go off to the left here, and I'm going to unlock a level that's on top right there, and then I'm going to be unlocking another level which is up here. You can tell if you unlocked a level if the loading screen on the bottom left, if you saw right there, if the loading screen appears, then that means you've successfully unlocked that level, because the game saves every time you unlock a level. So in this level, this is level 4, which is the first level in World 2. We are going to be using the roller. And yeah, again, sorry for the frame rate. It's not that great sometimes. Going to be collecting the sardinium there. But as you can see, I can do a vertical flick or a horizontal flick. And I'm going to be using both. There I was supposed to use a vertical flick, but that was just a little mistake that I made there. It happens. Here I'm just going to be kind of boosting through those enemies, because every time you get your armor broken, you become really slow. Enemies can see you in ink, and you're one hit away from dying. So getting your armor broken in a speedrun is very critical. But the only times when we do intentionally get our armor broken is if there is a checkpoint nearby, because if your armor is broken, and reaching a checkpoint instantly restores your armor. There I just got the scroll. This is that was a bit of a cycle base, because of those spinning platforms that was carrying the scroll. I believe I made a medium cycle, not the fastest one, because of the mistake I made earlier. But overall, not a bad level. Now I'm going to be super jumping to the level I unlocked earlier. I'm going to be unlocking that level, then going into this level. I try to cut as much corners as possible by throwing the bombs and immediately entering the level to save a little time. So this level is pretty cool. We first get the dualies, which are a very cool weapon. They're very good for movement. They allow dodge rolling, which you're gonna see me use that a lot during this level, and a lot whenever I use the weapon. But on these grind rails, you move the same speed whether you're in Kid or Inkling form. So the only way to go faster is by jumping then dodge rolling, like I'm doing right here. Here I'm just collecting orbs because there's a lot of orbs in this level. But the only way to move faster is to jump and dodge roll. So you're going to see me doing that a lot. There's a cool little skip right there. We call it nollie jump. Basically what I have to do there is shoot, turn into a squid, and jump, because that sets up that kind of takes advantage of the physics in the game to make that jump. I'm going to be collecting the Sardinium here. This is one of those levels when where the collectibles are just off to the side. They're not too far away. Especially in this level, because in any percent we actually get the Sardinium since it's so close. Because not only do we need 500 power eggs or orbs, whatever you want to call them. They're called power eggs, but a lot of people in the community call them orbs. Anyway, we also need, I believe it's 2 Sardinium as well for upgrades. We get 1 from in any percent we get 1 from the boss, the World 1 boss, and 1 from level 5. But that we don't really have to worry about too much because we're getting all the collectibles anyway, so we have more than enough for upgrades. Here I'm going to be getting the overworld scroll by following these balloons. And now I'm going to be unlocking a level right here with bombs. I'm going to be using bombs to unlock it from afar and then super jump into it. Here is the first Octoling level. These levels are pretty cool. You basically play on a multiplayer map. This one is known as the Reef. And basically what you have to do is collect 8 mini Zapfish. So there's one of these levels in every world. It's almost kind of like a turf war match versus some Octolings in a way. It's pretty cool. And these levels require a lot of rooting and movement to complete them really fast. Because these levels are they can be pretty quick if you play them right, if you know the right route, and your movement is pretty good. There I just collected the both of the collectibles, and I got the final mini Zapfish and finished the level. 53, not bad. Gold. That was a gold right there. Alright, here I'm going to be unlocking level 8. And I need to, this is when I make sure I have to have 500 orbs by the time I finish this level. So, this level I'm usually keeping a big eye on how many orbs I have. But I have 466 as of right now, so I should be able to have enough by the end. If I remember correctly, I'm pretty sure I do get the orbs that I need. This level is pretty self-explanatory. It mostly revolves around these things called octofurlers, which basically extend when you shoot them and retract when enemies shoot them. There, I tried to go for a skip where you basically throw a bomb down and it fully extends the octofurlers and kind of like and kind of boost you in a way. I try to go for it, but I mess it up. But it's still a cool little trick to do. Shame that I messed it up, but it happens. Whatever. Here we're beginning that box. It's a backup. This section's a bit annoying because I try to use as less shots as possible with the cannon to extend the octofroller that leads up to the Zatfish. And I believe I just finished the level with exactly 500 orbs. So that worked out very well. So now I'm gonna be going back to World 1 to get curling bombs, because curling bombs are very important for the speed run. Because what they do is they basically make an entire trail in front of you. They make a trail of ink right in front of you, so they're very important for speed runs. It took a while for the community to decide if going all the way back to World 1 to upgrade curling bombs was really worth it. But they're so good for speed runs that it really is worth it. We definitely decided that getting 500 orbs and going back to World 1 was absolutely worth it for curling bombs. This level I'm just going to be kind of showing off how important curling bombs are. These new enemies called squeegees, these can be pretty annoying because their behavior is pretty RNG. And this is an annoying section, especially in all collectibles, because the scroll is very hidden. And now what I'm going to be trying to do is to try to boost out the squeegee to get to the jump pad, which I fail at because it's a pretty hard trick. It does sometimes the squeegee doesn't boost where you want to go. Yeah, there I fail again. So I just had some like really bad luck here. So now I just resort to getting on top of the squeegee the normal way. I do lose some time in this level because of that, but it's okay. I make that up later on. But yeah, that's a pretty hard trick to pull off.
This is why I don't like that trick.
Here I'm going to be going on to this ink rail, going down and getting the sardinium. I accidentally used a splat bomb instead of a curling bomb. The D-pad can act a little weird at times. You think you've pressed left, but it actually, for some reason, goes left and then goes back to up. And here, the curling bombs are really important because since they make a straight line, the squeegees follow them a lot more easier. If we were to use splat bombs, it would be a lot harder because they explode immediately, while curling bombs go in a straight line and take a little time before they actually explode.
Oh, whoops.
Here I'm going to be unlocking the final level in World 2, level 6. Usually I unlock it before I enter level 7, but I think I just forgot to. No worries. here we get the Hero Charger, which is a pretty cool weapon. It's a most long-range weapon. In this level, basically just kind of showcases the Hero Charger a lot with these grappling hooks, which basically take you to the next platform when you shoot them. Here I'm going to be collecting the Sardinium. I'm going to be doing a cool skip right here. We're basically going to be going on this railing, jumping, and basically skipping a platform. Here I'm going to be going way off to the side to get the scroll on this grind rail down to this section here above the missiles. And right in that box. So now I'm going to be collecting this Stingray right here for probably the biggest skip in the entire game. I'm going to be skipping the entire last third of the level with the Stingray by basically, I'm going to do it right here. All I do is I guide this platform that's holding the final Zapfish, grabbing that grappling hook, then going to the platform with the Zapfish on it, and then collecting it. Sorry, that took me a while to fully explain that, but you can kind of see what I think you understand. It's not that difficult to understand. It's a little weird when you first see it, especially if you're a person who's played the single player before. It definitely blew my mind when I first saw it.
Hopefully this boss fight goes well, because I got a pretty big time save that I can get.
Alright, so here is the World 2 boss. His name is Octo Samurai. And for this guy, I'm going to be using the roller. Well, because it's the weapon we're forced to use, so it's not like I have a choice. This boss is probably one of the hardest, actually, because it's pretty much because we're forced to use the roller, and with like literally any other weapon, it's pretty easy. So this boss can be pretty annoying. But I try to go for all the quick kills. In the first phase is actually the hardest because sometimes he decides to use the ink motorcycle or tricycle, whatever it's called. And sometimes he decides not to. So that can be a bit annoying. There I get the quick kill. That's probably the quickest kill that you can do. So phase 2 went really well. And that's what I'm going to be going for in phase 3 as well. There we go, very nice. That was a pretty decent boss fight.
I got the quick kills in phase 2 and 3. Alright, save some time. It's good.
And here I accidentally re-enter the boss fight. So that was just a silly mistake that I made. I'm going to be losing some time, but I think that's the last big time loss in this run. The rest of the run I remember being pretty good.
I don't know why I did that. I don't know why I pressed this. I don't know why I pressed the trigger. That's my fault. I just don't know why I did it.
Here I'm going to be going to level 11. And this is World 3, by the way. I mean, it's pretty obvious, but I just thought I'd let you know. So this level is a bit tricky. So this level revolves around these enemies called Tentacooks, which basically they run from you and they hold a key that you need to get to the next section. So I'm going to be going for all the quick kills that I can.
What?
This one I don't get, unfortunately.
Are you kidding me?
Because I wasn't able to fully kill him before he was able to get away. But that kind of does explain what I'm going for. There I throw a bomb to scare him. Luckily I was able to get the quick kill in this section. But yeah, because of these Tentacooks, this level can be pretty annoying.
Get out of my way.
This enemy got in my way, so I had to go around him. Here I throw a bomb to scare that Tentacook. I'm going to be throwing another bomb, which he's going to run right into. Therefore it's gonna kill him. That's the fastest quick kill to do in this section, even though I go a little far off from the jump pad. Here is probably the most important quick kill to get, because you lose probably the most time if you mess it up. Luckily I'm able to get it. I'm going to be going down here to get the scroll from this Tentacook. And here I'm going to be going for a tricky jump that not many people go for. And got it. Very nice. That's a really hard jump, and you lose a lot of time if you mess it up. But I go for it in my runs, because I guess I'm semi-consistent at it. Here I throw the bomb to scare this Tentacook to get a second key. I know that part seems really confusing, but if you do exactly what I did, all the keys will be in the exact same place every time.
Rigged. I call hacks on the game. This game just has a conscience, and it's out to get me. That's the only explanation.
I'm going to be making a little bit of a risky jump to get to the next level. So this level we get the hero Splatling, which is the Gatling gun-like weapon. This level is also a bit tricky because the hero spot lane is not exactly the best for movement in a speed run, so using it is a bit hard. And this level is especially annoying in all collectibles because of the scroll. The scroll is really annoying to get in this level, and I'll tell you why when we get to it. But this level has these drum switches, which if you shoot them, extends these platforms, and that's what this level has. That's what this level revolves around. I'm going to be getting the Sardinium on this platform right here. Here I'm going to be cutting a big corner right here by jumping and shooting that grappling hook. So this section is where the scroll is at, and this is very annoying because of these enemies. They're called, I just forgot the names. They're called, I'm sorry, I just had a brain fart. I totally forgot what they're called. Let's call them showers. That's not what they're called. I'm very sorry, I totally forgot the name. But basically you have to ride them in order to get to this column right here to get to the scroll, and they're completely RNG. So that's why they can be pretty annoying, because a lot of times they just don't go where you want them to go. Flutters, that's what they're called. They're called flutters. I just remembered. Yes. Sorry about that. Just totally had a brain fart. But I actually got pretty lucky with that section and got some pretty decent RNG. 220, that's actually really good.
Alright, save a few seconds.
I had some pretty good RNG with that section. Here I'm going to be unlocking level 15. It either takes 1 or 2 revs with the splat lane. It has this weapon has quite a bit of RNG to it, so usually it's RNG if it takes 1 rev or 2 revs of the splat lane to unlock this level. And back there I also got the overworld Sardinium. So this is another Octoling level. This is probably, this is arguably the hardest Octoling level because the Octolings now have rollers, which can instantly break your armor. So they can be really dangerous if you're not careful, which in a speedrun is hard to be completely careful because you're trying to go so fast. Back at the beginning, I got a key because it unlocks the aid box that's holding the scroll, which is right here. And I mostly use bombs to unlock the cages that are holding the minis that fish, because that's the fastest method. Really nice level. Golden. Seem to be golden all the Octoling levels so far. Here I'm going into level 12, and this is a pretty unique level because this level revolves around these bounce pads. And the physics for the bounce pads are pretty interesting in Splatoon, especially when you're speedrunning. Basically, if you swim off of a platform directly on to the bounce pads, you carry your momentum, and that's the fastest that you can go onto the bounce pads. So you're gonna see me trying to take advantage of that as many speedruns as possible. Like right there, I carry my momentum from swimming right onto the bounce pads. So that's what I'm gonna try to do. Just got the Sardinium right there. Here I'm doing it again, so it only takes 2 bounces to get to that platform. Because if I didn't do that, it would have taken more than 2 bounces to get to that platform. So that's the trick that I'm always trying to go for in this level. That's the fastest method of transportation. Here, I just jump on the top platform and then basically go off to the side. There's not really a faster method of going down that section because it's vertical. Here, once again, I swim off these platforms to carry my momentum into the bounce pads. And that was a really good level.
Nice. Really solid.
Very good time. Another gold.
2 golds in a row, baby.
Here I'm going to be unlocking level 10, and then I'm going to be getting the sunken scroll by following these balloons. This one can be a little bit nerve-wracking because I'm using the hero shot, which is not always the best for shooting these balloons. So this is a cool level. This is when I first get the Slosher, which is the bucket weapon in Splatoon. And it's one of my personal favorites. I'm a Slosher user, so that's why I like it. And so this level, I actually have a big time save because this is a cycle-based level. It's not a global cycle, it's a sectional cycle, so I don't need to worry about it for the entire level, but I believe in my last run on these splits I missed the cycle, so that's why I have a near 20-second time save. So I believe I do make it in this run, so that's why this is where I start to really get a lead in the run. This level mostly revolves around these Octo Seekers, so you basically have to play Metal Gear Solid and slip past the Seekers. Not really hyped for them because I'm going too fast that even if they do see me, they don't have a chance to catch me. Other than that, not too much going on in this level. Here's a cycle right here. It's that Octo Seeker that's that's revolving around this section, and there we go. Got the cycle. You lose a lot of time if you mess it up, so that's why it's really important. Yeah, again, my sincere apologies for the frame rate. It's not that great, I know. Here it's going to be slipping right past the jump pad to get into Sardinium. And good level.
Nice.
This is what, again, this is where I really start to get a lead going. Because now I'm 16 seconds ahead. And so I'm just going to be saving more and more time from here. Now I'm going to be going into level 14, which is arguably the hardest level in World 3. On this level, we get the Charger. The Charger is not the best for movement, but it is good for precision. So a lot of levels that use the Charger are very precise levels. But also, I'm going to be going for a really hard skip called Car Wash Skip. It's basically when I slip between these ink columns right here and mash the A button to squeeze my way out. You lose a lot of time if you mess it up. And it saves probably not that much time. But I go for it because I'm fairly consistent at it. And the rest of this level is just precision with the Charger. And just trying to make the best movement out of my current weapon as I can. Just got the scroll. Here I'm gonna be storing a charge to kill the Octor Sniper. That's a cool that was a cool addition to Splatoon 2, being able to store your charge, which I do use at a couple times in the speed run. Yeah, I had a little trouble there trying to hit that switch. Again, very precise level. Here I'm going to be throwing a bomb to kill these two Octolings. And it always seems like the frame rate gets worse at the most important parts too. Again, I'm very sorry about that. But overall, a pretty decent level. We're going to be going into Octostomp, which is the World 3 boss. This boss is not as hard as Octo Samurai. But if you remember, he was the first boss in Splatoon 1. And he's making a return. And kind of, because at this point, Splatoon 2 is like 3 years old, so it's not much of a surprise anymore. But it's still a very fun game to speedrun even 3 years later. I enjoy it very much. I know I don't sound very enthusiastic, but I really do. I really do enjoy running this game. There's just something about it that's so charming and fun. What I basically need to do is to shoot this buckle on Octostomp to get rid of his armor. and then so because armor prevents me from inking the side of him, so I can climb up to shoot the tentacle. And I basically just need to do that again for phase 3.
Good boss fight. Nice.
Very nice, boss. Golded that. So this is World 4.
How are we doing time-wise? Oh, not bad.
I'm going to be going to the right first to unlock level 17.
I still got like a minute of time.
This level is slightly cycle-based. There's a lot of spinning platforms, so I'm going to be trying to get the quickest cycle. You don't lose a lot of time if you don't make the right cycle. Usually you just take a different path, which you may or may not be prepared for if you're too slow. But I'm using the slosher for this level. I'm going to be going up this platform to get the Sardinium. So far, doing well. I do apologize if I don't have too much to say at this point. I think I've explained a lot of the mechanics of the game, and so right now there's not really much that the game is throwing at us. Especially not in this level, I guess. Those octo stamps kind of bumped me to the side a little bit. Here I'm going to be going back and getting the scroll. But I think the features of this level is pretty self-explanatory. Speaks for itself. There I decided not to go for that cycle because it's a little too far away. Still pretty good. Now I'm going to be going to the left to unlock level 16. So this level is pretty cool. It has these mechanics called bowling balls, or octo bowling balls. I just call them the bowling balls because that's pretty much what they are. A very interesting new mechanic to the game. Again, not really new at this point, but whatever. And so this is another cycle-based level. And in this level, it's much more important that I do make the cycle because I lose a lot of time if I don't. There I just got the Sardinium, which was hiding in a pretty tucked away spot. So here's the cycle just up ahead. It's this platform that's going up and down. I'm going to be trying to catch it. Basically have to catch it and then just make it up before the platform retracts. Here I'm going to be going to get the scroll, which is in a really hidden spot behind these giant bowling balls. So that one is really tricky to get because you basically have to slip by those giant bowling balls, which can be really tricky.
Jeez, that was scary.
Very good level. Another big time save I just got right there. Here I'm going to be going under this platform to get the Sardinium in the overworld. And I'm going to be unlocking level 18, which a lot of people call the autoscroller level because it has the only 2 autoscrollers in the entire game, all packed into one level.
I must say, I love your emotes, Mr. Darkspot.
So I'm going to be using the charger in this level, because again, that's what we're forced to use. But it's not that precise of a level. I don't even know what it is about the charger that we're forced to use, or like a reason that we are forced to use. Maybe it's because there's a lot of enemies in this level, so there's a lot of long-range fighting going on. But here's the first autoscroller, just sitting on this garden rail and shooting some enemies on this tower. It's pretty cool cinematically, but gameplay-wise, not doing too much. Just kind of chilling and shooting some enemies. I would definitely give time for donations in this level, because there's really not much going on.
Oh, that was close.
There's a cool little skip right there. Just barely catching that platform to get to the next section from getting the scroll. And so here is the last auto-scroller, just going to be sitting on this platform all the way to the platform with the Zatfish, while a barrage of enemies come. But I can just hide in the ink and wait for the enemies to pass. So that's pretty much it for this little scroll. Is just right there. I just gotta stay on the sponge to get it. You can decide whether you want to just stay hidden or to kill the enemies. I decided to kill the enemies, so it's not much trouble getting off the platform when there's a bunch of enemies on it. I mean, I got nothing better to do, so might as well just kill all the enemies. or try to jump on the earliest possible time to the Zapfish platform. Pretty good level. Now I'm going to be collecting the sunken scroll in the overworld. Since I have the charger, I can just snipe these balloons. Now I'm going to be unlocking a few levels. We're unlocking almost the rest of them. I'm going to be unlocking this level, which we're going to do last in the world. It's level 19 right there. And now I'm going to be unlocking this level, which is level 21, which I'm going to be doing next. And so this level is probably one of my favorites. It's another Octoling level, and it takes place in Mori Towers, which I'm sure is also everyone's favorite multiplayer stage. I'm being facetious, of course, because it's a very infamous stage. But I'm really proud of the route that I'm doing in this level because it's one that I completely created on my own. Because one notable thing about this stage is that the collectibles are really out of the way in this level. They're really hidden. Like for example, I believe it's the Sardinium is all the way up here, near the enemy base. And is it the Sardinium? Sorry. And then basically this entire collectible route, I created on my own, because there really wasn't much of it. I mean, because the rest of the Octoling levels are basically kind of like the any percent routes, except with a few tweaks. But this route is entirely different from the any percent route, because of just how out of the way the collectibles are. And I've proven that it's the faster way to get all the Zapfish and the collectibles. So I'm really proud of creating that route. Because I found that it works really well and it's really fast. That was like a route that I made almost from scratch. It wasn't completely tweaked. It wasn't like tweaked from the any percent route. It was entirely new. So this is level 20. This is the first and the only time I'm going to be using the umbrella, which is a very unique weapon in Splatoon 2. It's basically a shotgun like weapon, but it also has a shield, which is the umbrella part, or the umbrella. This level can be a bit annoying. It's not very well liked by the community, because there's basically two different pathways you have to go down, and each of them has some very annoying enemies, and I'm trying to think of the word. Mechanics, I guess. First one was flutters, which are already annoying in general. And then the second path just up here are invisible platforms, which can be pretty nerve-wracking. But I played this level so many times that I know where all the invisible platforms are. It's also another cycle-based level. There I got a really hidden button to get the scroll right here. As you can see, that button was extremely hidden. it's very hard to get that. On here, I'm going to be extending this platform all the way to get the Sardinium right here. And now here is the cycle on these ink columns that are covering a propeller switch. Luckily, I think I was able to make the best cycle I can. I was actually pretty early. And there's a pretty cool jump to make where you basically kind of almost jump off the edge, hit a propeller switch that's holding the Zatfish. Because what you have to usually do is kind of like level out both those platforms. You have to like kill the snipers and then unlock the switch that levels out both the platforms. But the faster way is to just go get on this box, shoot the propeller that's holding the Zatfish, and then jump onto it. It's pretty cool. It is a pretty hard jump, easy to mess up.
Hey, thank you for the good luck, Sam. Appreciate it.
Now this is level 19, which is one of the longer levels in the game besides the final boss. Because now instead of 2 different pathways to go, there are now 3 pathways to go. Each of them are not as annoying as they were in the last level, but it's still a very obnoxious level because of how many pathways you have to go down. And especially the end of the level too, but we'll get to that in a minute.
Or like different from Splatoon 2 casually.
Here I'm going to be, I'm also, this is the first and only time we're going to be using the blaster in the run. There I just got the scroll.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
There I threw down a bomb after I unlocked the cage, because the bomb immediately activates the switch. It's faster to leave those bombs. There I got my armor broken, which is unfortunate, because that slows me down a little bit. And there I basically immediately go back because it basically turns that entire platform around.
In terms of skill, yeah, I understand. But thank you.
Here I'm going to be getting the Sardinium by getting a secret switch, which twists that giant block to reveal the Sardinium. Or I have a little trouble getting up that platform, the wall. The walls, getting up these walls are a little weird because they're curved, so you can't just like mash B. You can't just mash jump to climb your way up. It's very awkward getting up those platforms or those walls because they're curved. So it's hard to determine like when to just move forward or to move upward, because it's like a little bit of both in a way. And this section is really annoying because it has 3 squeegees. All of them have really random behavior, and I basically have to navigate to get a key and then unlock this jump pad. That section can be really unforgiving.
That's fine. It's fine. No worries about it. That's fine. It's not the end of the world.
But that is the last level in World 4. Now I've unlocked the boss.
I tried.
This boss is arguably the hardest in the game, because we get to use the charger. So already you know that this is a really precise boss. I definitely would go as far to say this is the most precise boss in the game, because what you have to do is you have to shoot these octocopters off of that are holding Octo Shower. And with the level 1, and to get all the quick kills with the level 1 charger is very difficult. So right away you can see just how precise it is. First, in the first phase, he starts off with 3, and now it's gonna be now he's gonna get 4. And so what I'm gonna be doing is trying to kill 3 of the 4. When I first get up onto this platform, and then he's gonna charge at me, and then I'm gonna try to snipe the last octocopter as he passes. So right here he's gonna charge, and then I snipe the last one. So that's the quickest kill you can get, because it's impossible to snipe all 4 of the octocopters just right away. I'll be trying to do the same right here. Got it, and very nice. That's really hard to do.
Let's go. Yes, we are in
But
there.
that was a really good fight.
Hi, boy. How are you? Something funny happened? What happened?
$57, very good time.
Let's go. Alright. World 5, here we go. Seconds ahead. So I was listening to a podcast and the episode was about gouging out eyes. Ugh. And then I got an ad for retinal surgery. What? That's weird. No, I've had experience.
Now I'm going to be heading into the final world, World 5.
I searched like how to tie a bow tie. And then I started getting ads for like tuxes. So no, like the ads, they know, they know what you're searching and they give you ads for those. It's kind of creepy sometimes, but that's kind of how the internet works.
So the first level that I'm going to be doing is 23. I'm going to store my charge using that little trick there.
I know.
And I'm going to be getting the level which is rotating on this platform. So I'm going to be trying to snipe it from below, because when you super jump to it, it immediately spins upright so you can get to it. So that's the fastest way to get to that level. So this level is very similar to level 5 from World 2. Because they're going to be using the dualies, and involves a lot of dodge rolling on these grind rails. But, you know, if you've seen level 5, then this level is pretty similar to that. So, but it's a pretty fun level. You just look really cool while doing it. There I did a little damage boost. Here I'm going past this section to get the Sardinium. Here I'm going to be taking a detour to go to this platform to get the sunken scroll.
Get on there, please.
I accidentally missed the ground rail. It's all pretty smooth sailing from here. Very nice time. Good level. So for the next level I'm going to be going to, I'm going to be basically jumping off this moving platform and throwing a bomb onto an invisible platform where the level is hiding. This is pretty tricky to unlock because this level is extremely hidden to begin with. But I was able to get a good unlock. So this level is probably the hardest level in the game. I think there's not much question to it, because this level is the first and only time we use the brush, which is not a very good weapon. I mean, I do like it in multiplayer, but for a speedrun, it's not that great, to be honest. And this level just throws so much at you. So much can go wrong. So that's why it just throws like everything that we speedrunners don't really like in the game.
Didn't mean to do that.
It has a lot of, it has a lot of dangerous enemies. It has the Tenakooks, which is, this section is coming up right here. You basically have to chase this guy down. And then right about here, I'm going to get my ink back up so I can chase after him again. And I'm going to try to kill him right here so I can get the key right where I need it. This section can be annoying because you basically had to kill all these enemies right here, and sometimes they can be in positions that don't really work. But I got pretty lucky here.
Nice.
That actually worked out really well. Next we got these, the Octop Commanders, which are holding Gatling guns.
Yeah, get out of here.
They can be pretty annoying. I try to maneuver my way around them. Here I'm going to be activating this Crawling Bomb Rush to scare that Tinakook, which is holding a key. And so I need him to unlock the Sardinium, which is in a cage right here. And also, this is probably the most annoying level when it comes to collectibles too, because they're probably the most out of the way in any level. Here I have to go down onto this invisible platform right here, and then follow this trail of invisible platforms that lead to the scroll, which is right down here. I mean, come on. Look how ridiculous that is. That is a really obnoxious place to be. So yeah, and there's also squeegees, which I've already said can be annoying. So I think you can easily see why this is a not very well liked level in the game.
Yes. Go ahead, please.
But overall, it goes really well, to be honest. That was actually a pretty good level.
Sub 3 minutes.
Sub 3, very nice. And I think this is going to be gold too.
Yeah.
30-second gold. That level was very clean.
What a gold. That is awesome. We are in there.
Oh yeah, there I am, all happy. Squid bagging.
That was probably the best 22 I've ever had in all collectibles.
Alright, so now I'm going to be going into level 26, which is just up here. Oh, here I messed up, so I'm not going to be making the fastest cycle to get to that platform.
Okay, that's fine.
Unfortunately.
It's alright. It's alright. It's okay. It's fine.
But that's okay.
Plenty of time to work with.
This level, I'm going to be using the roller. This is the last time we'll see the roller in the game. Or the run, sorry. This level is the return of the bowling balls. This level is arguably harder than the first bowling ball level. Because now the bowling balls are pretty much like stacked up onto each other, and there's like a lot of moving platforms. This is kind of like a mixture of 16 and 17. So this level can be pretty obnoxious, and you can easily die if you're not careful. Gonna be collecting the scroll just up over here. Just still able to make it up onto that platform after that little mistake. Here I have a little trouble trying to get onto these platforms. There I use the ink storm, which is going to switch. Sorry, I'm going to hit these switches over to the left, which will automatically extend these platforms, so I can get to the Zatfish. And here I lose a bit of time.
Okay, that's fine. I got another time save right here.
And I accidentally mess up making that cycle. Unfortunately, that's a tough mistake. Because I also need to get the overworld Sardinium, which is right under this platform right here. And then I also have to wait for the next cycle to come. This platform right here. But I think this is the last. I know I said this a while ago, but this should be the last big time loss.
still can't make too many mistakes.
I don't remember exactly like losing that much time. I do have a time save, which I don't believe I get because of that mistake that I made. Here I just kind of slipped through that wall of enemies. This is level 25, by the way. It's called Platform Mat House, and you're gonna immediately see why. There's a lot of platforming in this level. Right here, jumping on off and onto these platforms. Shooting both these switches to unlock this door. Now I have to kill this giant wall of enemies. I'm also using the splat lane too, which, like I said, is not the best for movement. There's also a cycle to make in this level as well, which is just up here. I'm trying to make the fastest cycle. Yeah, I'm a little too slow to make that cycle, so I make the next one. That's okay. That was actually like the fastest cycle. I can make the one that I missed, so it doesn't lose that much time. Here I have to use a switch to guide this platform that I'm on. I use the Inkstorm there so I can to hit that switch, so I don't have to keep shooting it. Here I have to activate that switch that takes me to a completely different section to get the scroll. Because I have to go onto this guy. You notice to jump around to the stack of boxes, and the scroll is just at the bottom of it.
I'm not going to lose any time. Just like a second or two. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Alright, I was worried I was going to lose more time.
Here, I'm now going to be getting this balloon to get the overworld scroll. Now, scroll spawns on top of there, but I'm actually going to be getting that later. Not before I enter the next level, but I'm going to be unlocking the next level before I get that scroll. Because it's in a pretty obnoxious location. It's on top of an invisible platform in the middle of nowhere. And I need to take this platform. As you saw on the way, I unlocked another level. But I basically have to ride this platform to these invisible platforms right here. Now I'm going into list level number 24. This is a pretty cool level because it has a lot of these platforms that start moving when you approach them. Like this platform right here. This I decided to wait for it. In any percent, there's a cool escape you could do where you get to that platform before it escapes. But in all collectibles, you can't really do that because you have to get behind it right here where the Sardinium is hiding. And here I'm going to be going onto these moving platforms, going up onto its side so I can get to this jump pad right here to the next section. This isn't really a cycle-based level, but I'm just I'm basically going to be taking like the fastest route. Because all the platforms don't really start moving until you approach them. When I kill that enemy, this platform under me activates. I'm able to get up here. Now this section I'm going to be unlocking, or I'm going to be trying to ink every switch on all the sides of this cube. So I'm going to be activating this platform that I'm standing on that basically rotates around it. I'm going to be throwing a bomb on the top panel, then ink inside of it, and I get a key, which unlocks this cage, so I can hit that switch, which will take me to the Zetfish.
Yes, good level.
And that was a really good level. Nice. Good gold. Now I'm going to be going back to World 1 to get one last upgrade. I'm going to be upgrading the hero shot now, because we're forced to use the hero shot for the final boss. And like I said earlier, the level 1 hero shot is really hard. Or the final boss is really hard with the level 1 hero shot. So it's much faster. It's much faster to go back to World 1 and upgrade to level 2 hero shot. So this is the last level, and it's an Octoling level. This one's a bit tricky because it can be very dangerous. A lot can go wrong. But overall, not too bad. You just have to have good execution. In the beginning, I believe it's the scroll up here, hiding in a box in the middle of the ink. There I get a piece of armor just for safety, because this section right here is very dangerous, because an enemy with a roller can decide whether or not to spawn and completely take your armor.
Yes.
And pretty good level.
Yes.
Another gold.
Yes.
How about that?
Alright, let's do this. Let's freaking do this. It's RNG Octavio tone. Whatever. I think even if I get the worst RNG, I think I'm still gonna get World Record. I feel pretty confident.
So now I die there, so I can spawn back in the center, because it's faster. Because I now basically need to make my way over to the boss. And right here is the final boss. This is DJ Octavio.
World Record? I think so. We'll see. Octavio could still give me the business. But I feel pretty good about this run.
So while these cutscenes are happening, I might as well explain how this boss works. So this boss fight is pretty infamous because it has a lot of RNG variants.
Much stress. I know what that it's not really.
So it is annoying that the final boss has to be RNG.
Kind of relieving.
But it's just something that we kind of work with.
It's relieving for me.
It's something that we just go with, and it does have quite a bit of variance. But if you get an average run, if you get an average Octavio in a run, then chances are there's not going to be much variance. If you get a one that's different, if that makes sense. So basically, he has to shoot 8 fists at you, non-spinning, which are these glowing fists right here. And after you hit 8, it ends the phase. And it is pretty random whether he decides to shoot a glowing fist at you or like a spinning fist or bombs like right here. So that's pretty much how the boss fight goes. It is a little sad that the final boss has to be RNG. Like there, I accidentally missed a fist because I was out of ink. That was okay. I think I remember he was pretty nice to me and still decided to give me one fist.
Okay, that's my fault.
I remember this being a pretty poor boss fight.
Okay, Octavio is so far
but the fact that I still managed to get world record after having after having bad RNG is still pretty good. So I wouldn't say there was that much variance. But I've taken into account of the RNG in this game, and still managing to beat the world record by almost a full minute while having bad RNG is really says something. And so the rest of this boss is pretty much speaks for itself. Yeah, that's DJ Octavia for you.
Okay, so far phase 2 is not looking so good. Yeah, he was too nice to me in the first phase. I was like, this is too good to be true. And sure enough. Houses are evil. Sure, maybe. Jeez, yeah. Phase 2 is not looking so hot, but that's okay. Does your character live in a house? I don't know. Do Inklings and Ocklings live in houses? I don't know. Oh, that was the point all along. Oh, I get it. I see. Houses are evil in Splatoon 2 confirmed. It's canon now. Don't trust houses. This is like the whole snowball or snow globe debacle all over again. We can confirm that snow globes are evil, at least to Octavio, and houses are evil to Inklings. Just something about confined spaces in this game. What is it with confined spaces? This Octavio kind of sucks. But what can you do? I think you still got the clip. Oh, yeah. That was funny. I think I clipped that because it was really funny. Calamari incantation. Hey, everybody who's watching the stream, I see that there's...
Okay, so now for the final phase, we're going to be getting the Rainmaker.
If you all don't mind,
I'm going to be shooting the fist
so I can get the
from the grind rails up above. This is a pretty cool final phase to end the game.
Favor. That's all I'm asking for. Just type something in the chat. That's all I'm asking for.
Cinematically, it's pretty cool. Gameplay-wise, it's okay. So after I shoot 8 glowing fists, that's going to be the end of the boss fight. And time is going to end when I dunk the Rainmaker onto Octavio. You'll see it happen. But then after that, the credits are going to roll. And then afterwards, I'm going to go back into the single player and check to see if I have all the collectibles to ensure that this run is valid. Which it is, but I'll keep going there just to show you. You know, this is already a verified world record on speedrun.com. You can see it there on the Splatoon 2 page. But yeah, I'll just talk again when the at the very end, showing that that this run is valid. But the run is about to end.
And boom, world record, baby. Oh, there's the clip. Yeah, that was funny. Almost sub 148. Hey AU, how's it going? GG. GG indeed. If you want to know how I guarantee Octavio world record, just look at this clip. 147 win? I don't know, man. We'll see. This run is definitely improvable. And probably even more so since this Octavio wasn't that great. Oh, I'm sure by my sum of best, you can tell that it could happen. It is. It's not like I'm not saying that it's not possible. But it's like, for example, Mario 64. Like the sum of best is like a 136, but is world record a 136? No, it's a high 138. Also, I've improved my sum of best quite a lot in the past few days of grinding this. I love this song. I'm sure not many people would agree with me on this, but this is like my favorite song. Makes me cry. Me too. It's so wholesome. Let's see. In case you're wondering why I'm just going through the credits, not just for like cinematic reasons, but also because I technically don't have all the collectibles yet. I get the final collectible when the credits end. The run just ends when the final boss ends because that's just the rules. I'm just following the rules, man. And we've all learned a very valuable lesson today. How is there evil? Yes, yes, we did. There's just something about confined spaces in this game that are just weird. Octavia hates snow globes, and everyone except Octavio and Tartar hate houses. Nobody except Octavio and Tartar want to be in that house. I kind of want to I really want to go back to all missions because it's just gotten so much hype. I want to do outdoor expansion again. I think I'm ready to tackle outdoor expansion. I've been working on hero mode for quite a while now. And even though this run even though this world record is heavily improvable, still. Yeah, I want to try all missions. All missions seems really cool. Nogami, he's the man. Nogami's the man. He's the one that makes the squid memes. Nogami not into house. No, I don't think he trusts houses either. Alright, we got all the collectibles.
Alright, and that is all the collectibles, proving that this run is valid. So anyway, that's going to be the end of my commentary run of my world record in Splatoon 2 all collectibles. If you've watched this far, thank you so much for doing so. I really appreciate it. And whoever's watching this at GDQ, I hope you consider this run for SGDQ 2020. I would love to be in it. If you guys choose to add this in the marathon, I promise to keep running this category because I'm always finding new strategies and new optimizations that make this category even cooler. And I think that's all I have to say. Thank you very much, and have a good one. Bye-bye.